Now, is the government running into trouble over tax? Ministers have been forced to order a review of tax arrangements for senior Whitehall officials after it was revealed that the chief executive of the student loan company had struck a deal which may have saved him tens of thousands of pounds. MPs were furious to discover that instead of paying Ed Lester a salary, the Department for Business paid him via a company which incurs less tax. The Chief Secretary pledged to end any similar contracts with other civil servants.
If any appointments are found, whether agreed by this or the previous government, which do not provide value for money, I have urged departments to seek to unwind them as quickly as possible and as quickly as is compatible with securing good value for public money.
And there's an even bigger battle for public money happening in Switzerland. The British government signed an agreement with the Swiss to give Britain the right to reclaim half the money from tax evaders' Swiss bank accounts. It sounded like a terrific deal for the taxpayer, but doubts were soon raised about just how much it would actually raise. And in her first interview with a British journalist since the deal was signed, the Swiss president said she could not confirm the deal would even raise £1 billion. Our economics editor, Faisal Islam, reports now from Switzerland.
For nearly 80 years, the Alps have been a haven for the world's super rich. Bank secrecy as Swiss as chocolate and pricey watches. But as the West's tax coffers empty, this famously neutral country is under attack. Pretty clean, fresh, picturesque St. Gallen, particularly attractive if you're trying to stash your money. With the rest of Switzerland, this is the biggest offshore centre in the world, taking in 30% of world offshore funds, nearly $2 trillion. But the world's rich and super rich are beginning to pull their funds as the rest of the world starts to attack Switzerland and its banking secrecy. This is Switzerland's president, Evelina Widmer-Schlumpf. She's also the finance minister and told me about Switzerland's new clean money, or so-called white money policy. Does Switzerland feel under a lot of pressure from this international attention on your banking system and your banking model?
We feel a lot of pressure since years, and that's why we decided 2 years ago to go the way of a white money strategy.
And it's Britain that's the guinea pig for the great Swiss bank clean-up. On the face of it, the government struck an impressive deal. Britain and the world's super rich have stashed their money in secretive Swiss bank accounts for decades. The British taxman estimates 4 out of 5 British accounts here involve tax avoidance. Last year, a controversial deal that the Treasury claimed would return £4 to £7 billion in unpaid taxes. But in return, British customers will be kept secret, an effective amnesty for what is a criminal offence. Swiss banks are trying to move on from their secretive alpine image. In St. Gallen, Raiffeisen Bank has literally painted the town red around its headquarters. The surreal nature of Switzerland's banking system goes well beyond this rather odd version of Red Square. The question for Britain on this UK-Swiss tax deal isn't just about whether it was worth letting Switzerland keep its secrecy on banking in order to get hold of a few £1 billion of tax. It's whether we'll get this few £1 billion of tax at all.
If they put this number out, £4 to £7 billion, there's no way at all they're going to get that. HMRC needs to come out and say where they got these numbers from, because I think they're just pure fantasy.
So we're talking hundreds of millions rather than billions?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, I think Great Britain can be sure that you will have money.
Billions?
I can't speak about billions or trillions or thousands. That's not up to me, because those are the banks, our banks, they pay that.
But this building symbolises another, more aggressive method for pressurising the Swiss, that of America. This bank, Vagelin, Switzerland's oldest private bank, effectively having to close last week. Now it's the scene of a defeat in a massive financial war between America and Switzerland.
They are in a position to put pressure on people, pressure on bankers, get more information, widen the investigation, sling a few people in jail if necessary, and keep putting pressure on Switzerland. They seem to have been tantalising Switzerland with, we're going to sign a deal.
Like Britain?
In marked contrast to Britain, the British have been, they've signed this incredibly cosy deal with the Swiss.
The Treasury says it did the best possible deal, but a more hands-on approach might actually deliver those promised billions. Faisal Islam, Channel 4 News, St. Gallen.